Greetings, family. This is Dr. Kia. It is Friday, July the 29th at 2:24 p.m. And I'm coming here to finish up my story from last night, but to also tell you all, I strongly feel, let me just say, I know that 209 countries are backed by gold. There's just too much evidence out there. I've been reporting on this, I know, for days and saying that it's here. And so I'm elated. I'm trying to contain my excitement because, not everybody gets excited with me. And I do understand that because if you don't hear it on the mainstream media, you don't know if it's true. But there's just too much evidence that leads me to know that this has happened. And we already know about Project Sandman, where 109 countries agreed to return to the gold standard. And I knew just from my studies and just from knowledge of research and coming into contact with certain people and also living on the gold mines in Ghana, West Africa, as I reported last night, I knew that the gold standard was coming because Ghana is called the Gold Coast for those people who don't know it. So when you're living on the Gold Coast, you have access to some of the knowledge and information and some of the people that everyday people may not have that experience with. So Ghana is the Gold Coast, and they have lots of gold and natural resources, but they are not treated as such. And that goes with, most African nations being rich in resources, as well as America and as well as some of the other nations on the planet. But back to Ghana. As I reported on yesterday, I lived in Ghana in one of the villages for, I want to say, we had a place there for 2 years. I didn't live there completely 2 years, but I would go back and forth because I did have business in America and we had, business in Ghana too. But I did get to see and experience what it's like to actually live on a gold mine because the gold is mixed in with with the gravel or whatever's on the ground, and you could see particles sparkling underneath your feet, but the untrained eye may not know exactly what it is because it hasn't been refined, so to speak. But the people would tell me all the time, especially the older women and the chiefs would say, "We don't understand you people." They call it Americans, you people. We don't understand you people. You people get excited about gold. You want it for your jewelry, you want it for your utensils. You people are really strange. Gold is in abundance here in Africa. Gold is all around us, it's a part of our everyday lives, and we don't have a fascination with it. We just want to live and we want to be able to take care of our families, they would tell us. So they had a desire for the United States dollar. They weren't fascinated with it per se. They needed it because it was the world reserve currency. Well, now, family, I'm telling you, with the uh, BRICS nations moving away from the United States dollar, that means that the United States dollar is losing, has lost its value because you have Saudi Arabia that joined with the BRICS nations, Iran, Turkey, Egypt, and there's some speculation that Iraq even will join with the BRICS nations or has joined with the BRICS nations. So we have lost our reserve currency status. Now, as you all know, we had a reserve currency status because we we protected Saudi Arabia in exchange for their oil, and we demanded that everyone else trade our reserve, our currency, our fiat dollars for oil. Well, once Saudi Arabia left the United States dollar and rejected it, now there's no reason for us to be the reserve currency. The premise is over. And you have like most of the world dropping the USD, practically all of the world, because you have those nations with the highest number of population leaving the United States dollar. So it has no value. That means essentially that we have all returned to the gold standard. So what are you going to do? Because now we see the gold and silver prices rising. Remember before they were being suppressed and they were steadily going down. And that was one of the reasons people kept telling me that I must not be telling the truth because they saw the prices decline instead of increase. And I tried my best to explain that that's what spoofing is all about. Spoofing is doing things to the market or suppressing the metal so that it looks like the value of silver and gold are not there. It looks like the value has decreased. But JP Morgan got in trouble for spoofing and they even admitted to it and had to pay a $920 million fine. Additionally, inside traders, one was an FBI agent, one was an investment banker, one was a former United States congressman out of Indiana. They were arrested. And that was a part of the sealed indictments being unsealed. In a particular article that I read to you the other day, the author clearly stated that this was an enthusiastic investigation and that this was only one of much more to come or many more to come because those indictments had been unsealed. So, for some of you that remember, since like 2017, we've been talking about sealed indictments, but it really looked like we were just we were just, making these up. But now we see that there's an admission that indictments were sealed. Also, I reported the other day that President Trump is suing CNN for defamation of his character. That's huge because now, with lawsuits against mainstream media will be forced to tell us the truth. Can you see how this controlled demolition is occurring right before our eyes? Can you see how they're letting us know what has been occurring covertly behind the scenes? And they're just little bitty drops they're giving us. The scripture says, here a little, there a little, you'll get information. And so what happens is you put all the information together and then you get your story. So what was it like living on the gold mines in Ghana? It was the most incredible experience because again, the people didn't understand Americans and the people in the West fascination with gold because they said you guys can only use it for jewelry, and we did tell them, well, they're going to use it for money again. Of course, some of the chiefs knew that. The workers did not. So what you saw was during this rush to mine gold in Ghana, you saw a bunch of Chinese immigrants going to Ghana, even some illegals. A lot of them were illegally over there going to Ghana, raping the gold mine, so to speak. But as long as the president had given them permission, they could come over there, even though they didn't have the proper documentation. And some of them were just over there illegally, completely illegal. And so I was telling you that I read a book that kind of became popular. A lot of people didn't know about it though. And it was called China's Second Continent, How a Million Immigrants Are Building Up an Empire or a New Empire in Africa. So you could see that China was building an empire there because there was an influx of immigrants there working on the gold mines. They did not mingle with the people. They did not um, eat the foods. They did not participate in bartering or exchanging at all. They brought their own food. They brought their own market, so to speak, and set them right on the gold mines. People that would cook food and serve food to each other. But yet they had access to the women because you can just give women who are in desperate need of money, a few Ghana CDs or even US dollars and sleep with them. But they exploited the men. So I was there from 20, maybe 2012. It might have been 2012, but I know I was there 2013, 2014, and 2015. And initially, I saw a lot of the Chinese there, and I saw some Europeans, some Lebanese there in Ghana mining gold. And I got to actually meet a Lebanese contractor who was there mining gold, and he and I spent some time together because, of course, he was trying to get to know me, and I was trying to get to know him in terms of finding out what was going on so that I could report on it later. But a number of them were there, but the Ghanaians said that the Chinese would be there and they knew that something wasn't right. And what we came to find out is that a lot of them were illegal immigrants. They mistreated them. They wouldn't pay them fairly. So even though the Europeans were paying like practically pennies, it was a whole lot more than what the Chinese were paying them. So the Chinese were paying them, and these were illegal immigrants. So this is no slight against Chinese people. They weren't supposed to be there. So they probably didn't have a lot of money. but they had the tools. They were mining gold, so they had something. They were the ones that were giving them like 10 Ghana CDs for a month, which is only $2 US, whereas the Europeans would pay them maybe triple that. So that was a lot more to them. And the Europeans would give them time off, and the Europeans would like let them have breaks and let them have food, and they didn't have guns on the mines. Whereas the Chinese, they said, would have guns on the mines. They wouldn't let them take many breaks, or sometimes no breaks at all. They would threaten them with the guns. You're in somebody else's country with guns, threatening them that if they didn't work from sun up to sundown, you would take their lives. So the Ghanaians didn't like that, but they were in such a bad place. They didn't have money, they didn't have resources. And the agreement was that if the men in the village mined the gold, then these explorers or contractors would then put money into the villages, and they would help with the infrastructure, and they would help with, create stores and businesses there. But they did none of that. And this is coming from the chief of my village, who also had a meeting with the chiefs in all the neighboring villages. They had a chief meeting, and then they came to my sons and me because we were American, and they were just telling us their issue. And they were like, we need you all to, get us some help. We need American help. We don't need, just any type of European here. Some of the Europeans, of course, were helping, but we don't need some of them that are exploiting us, and we don't need the Chinese here that are exploiting us. So what I saw was an exploitation of the minds and of the workers between 2012 and 2015. But in 2016, the Ghanaian government found the majority of the illegal Chinese immigrant contractors that were mining gold and kicked them out. And that's when I knew that something was up. They kicked them out because these people were overtaking their country, just like they were overtaking America and other countries. I think the nefarious group of Chinese had a plan to overtake the world, the CCP. And that is why Secretary of State Pompeo, under number 45, had told the governors at the governor conference on February 8th, 2008, that he had his eye on them and he could see them and he knew that what they were up to and that they had sold out their estates to the CCP. And he said, I'm warning you to do the right thing, but I know that you all have allowed the Chinese and the CCP to infiltrate every segment of society: education, entertainment, politics, sex, religion, and he just named it on. And you can find that discussion on YouTube. Secretary of State Pompeo, who is a former CIA agent, so he knew everything that was going on, speaks at the governor conference. So he was saying, I see you, and I know that the Chinese have graded you. I have the report card that they have on each of you governors, and how complicit you are with the CCP and their agreement to overtake America and the world. And he warned them to do the right thing. And of course, that was in February, right before the global shutdown in March. But they didn't listen. They continued on with their nefarious plan. They closed down the planet. Most of their Agenda 2020, had already been done. All these huge agendas that you all heard of, where the Chinese had bought up a lot of land here in America and all over the world, and had intended to come over here, bring their military, and control our country. So I saw that in Ghana. I saw it in the mines. I had the esteemed pleasure of watching them take the rocks that look like rocks and refine them and wash them and take them through processes through these machines. And a lot of them were manual, and make them complete, beautiful, shining gold. And some people would take gold out from the country, but you have to be very careful how you do it, going through customs. So we just had it like you can have it made into a ring. And when we brought some of it here to be assessed by jewelers, we took it to some of the best jewelers. The jewelers had never seen gold that was so pure, so beautiful, so clean, so refined, and so rare. As a matter of fact, they would try to assess it or put a value to it, and they couldn't. We had to go to one of the most affluent areas in the city in which we lived at the time, and have that jeweler to bring out. So he brought out all his tools, and he was like, "This is like off the scale. I can't even tell you what purity this is, because we've never seen this in America." But then he put it in a solution, and he said, "This is nothing but African gold, because there is no gold as great and as fabulous and as pure as African gold." He said, "I've seen 24 karat gold, I've seen 0.999 refined pure gold, but this is something that is on a higher caliber." And so that is probably why there were a lot of Chinese and Lebanese and other people there. As a matter of fact, the Lebanese have been in China for in Africa, in Ghana, West Africa, for over 100 years. But the Lebanese have assimilated into the culture. They marry the women, they learn the language. Now, they do own all the grocery stores and a lot of the businesses, but they do know the language, because you have multiple generations that have been there now, and they're mixed in with, blood, in terms of bloodline. So this is just some of the things that I've been experiencing and witnessing. And we also have friends, and I have a son that I have adopted from Senegal. So they tell us about the gold stories. And my sons have traveled all over, different African countries. We've been to Costa Rica. We've been to South America, Central America. They've been, of course, to Brazil. My son has a Brazilian wife. Um, and also just many countries in Central and South America. There's one that escapes me that I can't think of. But we have heard the stories of the gold. And when you've heard those stories, and it's in alignment with the research, and it's in alignment with House Resolution 5404, which defined the dollar as a fixed weight in gold, and that resolution was submitted under number 45. And you knew that, number 45 had nominated Dr. Judy Shelton to be over the Federal Reserve because she was such a strong proponent of gold. And when you understand that the Constitution defines money as a fixed weight in silver, and then you understand that the United States Mint is supposed to mint money for we the people. And also, in addition, when you see that under number 45, he practically dismantled the United States Federal Reserve by putting them and their duties and all of the things that they were supposed to do underneath the United States Treasury Department, because under the Constitution, only the Treasury Department can have any dealings with money. Anything that deals with money, only the United States Treasury can deal with that. So that's why he had to dismantle the Federal Reserve. And I've been reporting on that since 2017. I knew it was coming. I knew it was happening. I could see it happen before my eyes. And under Nasara law, the IRS has to be dismantled because it's an unlawful, illegal corporation. It's just a business. It has a business number with a DUNS number, a DNB number. It's just a corporate entity. It is not federal. It is not government. It is unlawful. And so when you pay taxes, you're actually paying taxes willingly, they say. There's no law that says you have to pay taxes. Now, they might come after you, but there were ways to get around it by living in a private sector. But we don't have to worry about that because the republic is being restored and the IRS has been dismantled. You'll hear about that now. It's going to come out. So when you look at House Resolution 24 and 25, they actually examined and monitored the IRS because they knew they were about to do a demolition of the IRS and completely dismantle it. So when you see all those things happening, you're able to report that we are moving to the gold standard, and you're able to predict that this will happen. I was saying that in 2017. And now we have come to the time when all the nations are moving away from the USD, joining the BRICS nation, joining Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. So that means, and that means that in addition, Iraq, Iran, Turkey, Egypt, and other countries, those with the most population have decided that they're now go back. So family, I'm excited. I just want to encourage you and let you know that I've had some experiences that are out of this country that will let me know what was going on. And I have relationships with some of the chiefs there and some of the priests and with the recorder of the Asante Hene, and that was Asante Hene's family. I don't know what the official name is called. The scribe. So It is happening. It has happened. You also just heard Nigeria is now creating refineries. Nigeria is moving to gold, which that's no secret. We know how much gold they have. At least I do, just having some connections in African countries. Was it Nigeria, India? And there was another country that I reported on yesterday that just came straight out and said, that we're trading in gold. So keep your vibrations high. It is happening. Someone asked me, what did I do to get my skin to glow? Family, I take gold. Monoatomic gold, I actually take it in a powder form, but I also have it in a liquid form, and I take it at least once a day, at least a teaspoon a day, sometimes 3 times a day. It makes your skin glow. It gives you an even tone. It is gold. It is what the Bible called manna. So if you remember, the children of Israel had come out of Egypt, according to the scripture, and they were in the wilderness for a long time, and they were, marching around the wilderness, and they had no food. And so the scripture says that the Creator allowed manna from on high to come down. And when they ate it, it melted in their mouths, and they said it was delicious. And they said, "What is it?" That's what they said manna meant in the Bible. What is it? But it nourished them for a number of years, and it fed them. They were to collect it six times, 6 days of the week. But on the seventh day, the Sabbath day, they were to rest. And since I did grow up in the Hebrew culture and the Hebrew tradition of being an Israelite and keeping the holy days and the feast days, and I know about manna, of course, but I eat it. I eat it in the form of monoatomic gold. You can get it from Amazon, and it can be shipped to you the next day if you have Amazon Prime, or you can get it from the Meta Center out of Chicago, where the late great Dr. Delbert Blair, the metaphysician, told us. He told us in like 2010, 2009, 2010, and probably before that. But I had the esteemed pleasure of speaking to him, and he told us the planet is ascending. We as a people are ascending. The whole country, the whole world is ascending to higher states of consciousness to help yourself elevate. Take monoatomic gold, take colloidals and colloidal gold, colloidal silver, but especially monoatomic gold. Wear silver, he said, wear copper, wear gold, because these things resonate with us. You have silver receptors in the brain. You have gold in your body. And all of these metals actually are somehow in your body, like the silver receptors, and they respond to the precious metals. So this is the great secret they don't want you to know. It's not just about money. It's not just about having something to exchange, a medium of exchange. It's about your consciousness, Christos, rising in the way that you think, elevating in the way that you think, so that you become a highly evolved, highly self-actualized individual that maximizes your potential, so that one day you'll be able to fly again. One day you'll be able to regrow your limbs and your teeth and your bones and fix your body that was mutilated or incapacitated because of the sick drugs that they gave us. Family, we are ascending back to that place. And the way you can do that is by buying or being around gold, silver, copper, and all these precious metals, or at least consuming it. So that's what I do to get my skin to glow. I take monoatomic gold, colloidal gold, and colloidal silver, but especially the gold. My name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. I'm excited. We're moving to the gold standard. We have gone to the gold standard unofficially. It's official, but you haven't heard it on anything. Somebody told me today, "Oh, Charlie Ward just said it." I said, "Yeah, but I told you guys this last week. Why won't you believe me? I've been out before Charlie Ward, before this Melanie woman or whatever, all these people you speak about." But, it's good. It's good that you have so many people telling the truth, telling the news now, right? Because now we have confirmation. But my name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. If you want gold and silver, precious metals, please contact Andy Schechtman, who is the CEO of Miles Franklin. Go to milesfranklin.com. We will have an interactive website coming out soon, but now you can look on the website, see what he has. Email him at Andy@milesfranklin, MILESFRANKLIN.com, and he will send you his inventory with the best most recent prices. And the reason why he does it that way is because he can give you the best prices that are in the market at the time. He's been in business for over 30 years. He has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau with not one single complaint at all. He's an amazing CEO. He interacts with his customers and his clients. He does have others that work with him, and I am a part, or I will be officially a part of his affiliation program. So now what I ask you to do, if you call Andy to buy precious metals, just say Dr. Kia Pruitt referred me. He'll give you the best prices, and it will help your sister out too, because I don't get paid for this, family. I've been doing this for years and I do not get paid, but I love it. It's my pleasure. It's my calling. It's my purpose. So email Andy. I'll put his number in the description box. Let him know what you want, and also ask him how he can help you roll over your retirement savings, your IRA, 401k, or 403b into precious metals, because if you've been paying attention, the values are increasing. They are stopping with the suppression, because those who have suppressed the prices are now under investigation. Some of them have been arrested. Some of them are on their way to Guantanamo Bay, and some of them have had to pay huge fines. So it's over. It's a wrap. Watch those precious metals shoot up. Get yours now while you can. I love you. My name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. Make this a great day, and look for President Trump coming back to announce the restoration of the restored republic, our official government, and the announcement that NESARA is now fully in effect. I will link my video on what NESARA is and how each person on the planet will have $100,000 a month into a non-interest bearing account. So you will have to be a good steward over that money. It's not going to accrue any interest, and it's going to be in a quantum account, which will be monitored by our galactic family, the Galactic Federation. So you won't be able to buy anything nefarious or participate in any insider trading or anything that you should not do, buy drugs or people or our babies. So keep your vibrations high. Align yourself with this. People keep saying you're saying that we're going to get this free. No, we paid for this. Our birth certificates were traded on the New York Stock Exchange after it was created, exchanged into a bond. Our social security numbers have been traded. Your social security number is actually a bank account number. If you look up gmeilutility.org and put in your social security number with the dashes, you will see hundreds, if not thousands, of companies and people from all over the planet trading under your social security number. That money has to come back to you to make America and this planet great again, and to redeem us and to pay us back for the nefarious banking system and the nefarious ways of the Federal Reserve System, which is now kaput. I love you again. I need to be out of here. I think I'm at 17 minutes. Make it a great day. Bye. I love you. Mwah.